Hi friends, Mindy here. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be sharing some information about the new paper packs that have been added to my website. So my website is called chosenandcrafting.com. I will have it linked down in the description. Also, there will be a link for my Facebook group. If you haven't joined that, I'd love to have you join me over there as well. You feel free to share your creations and things there as well. But I wanted to just give some background on some of these paper packs and kind of maybe give some ideas for how to use them or share some of the thought process behind why I curated them the way that I did. And also, I would like to let you know that I will be having a Black Friday sale. It's actually going to start on Wednesday and run through Saturday. So if you are interested, the shop will be discounted and you can check that out. Some of the paper packs that I'm going to be sharing are, very limited supply just because of the nature of what I am offering. But this first one was actually a request from someone about some paper packs that had some postcards in them. So that's what this first one is. And I will just take a second here to say, don't ever hesitate to reach out to me if there's something specific that you're looking for. You can message me, here on YouTube. You can message me on Instagram. You can message me through my website. You can send an email there. We have tried to do custom orders. We have done custom orders for people that if they're looking for something specific. So, don't ever hesitate to reach out and I'll do the best that I can. If you email me, I'll try to get back to you and let you know what I can do. So, moving on from that, so this one is the vintage postal is what this one is called. And so obviously everything that's in here is going to vary from pack to pack, but the number of items and the type of items are going to be the same. So the first thing that's going to be in here is a date of first day of issue card that's been mailed. So this is for basically this stamp. This one is from 1949 and it's usually just, an envelope. There might be like a blank card or something. It's sealed. And so you have like the postal cancellation on there with that first stamp. And then there is going to be a postcard that's a vintage postcard. This one is from 1909. So each of these will have like the postage stamp and the cancellation marks and everything. Some of them will have more or less writing. This one is a really beautiful embossed postcard. And I'm not sure what their little sentence meant here, but and just like all the the handwriting and different things. And then you're also going to get like a souvenir card. This is from San Antonio, Texas. So this is, both sides, just an image in here. Just thought these were fun. So I included one of those. And then you're going to get just some different postcards. So these are 5 and they vary. So some of them are like this one, which is black and white. And then I do have a color one in here as well. So this one is from Zurich. And then here's one. This one is more like sepia toned, which I really love. This one is Mount Vernon. And then this one is in Versailles, I think. Yes, for this one. And so, all of those are going to vary, but you will have like one of the first date of issues and all of those kinds of things. So, and these are actually available on the website right now. They are listed there. But like I said, I will be having my Black Friday sale. So I just want to put that out there. And in the past, I have had a pack of Ledger. And it was kind of a larger pack. This one is a little bit smaller in terms of the pages that are in it. But not the number of, like the actual number of pages. So this one is going to have 11 pages. Some of them are folios and some of them are just single, but they're all very large. And so in order to ship them, I did have to fold them. So this one is like 6 by 15. It's very large. This one is going to be a folio. So when you have 2 pages, that are folded together, you have the folio. So this is 2 pages here. Like this one again, 6 by 15 from the 1947, I think is what that one says. And then this one is 1955 and it's a nice tall one as well. You're gonna get a folio here. And this particular ledger actually I really liked it and it had some of the ledger was full and some of it was blank. So I included a page that has writing on it, and I also included a blank. So this is I just felt like it was interesting, you know, I like having some that are written on and also some that aren't. So I included that. And that one, those are like 8¼ by 13½. And then this one is from 1958. And this is just going to be one folio. It measures 7½ by 12. So again, it's large. Some writing, you know, obviously that's going to vary from page to page. This is the oldest that's going to be in here. This is just a single sheet. This is from 1925. And I would say that this is, actually, I guess this one says 1926 on it, but that time period. And this is actually maybe the most fragile of the pages. The rest of them, they fold well. They're not cracking or anything. This one, it's not cracking, and I think you could use it, but I just wanted to mention this one is just, this page, just because of its age, is just a little bit more fragile. And then this one measures, I think, like 12 by 9¼ This is just got a little bit of writing on it. And then this one is so large, I actually had to fold it twice. It's 17 by 11, so just ginormous, but there's no writing on this one. And so I like having a bunch of ledgers that have different ages, different patinas, different handwriting, some with writing, some without. And so that's kind of the thought process behind here. And so with these paper packs, some of those ledgers are, you know, they're hard to find sometimes. And so I try to give a good variety of the different types of ledgers whenever I can. So the next pack that I have is a Hollis Dan music pack. So this is actually, these are all from the Hollis Dan music series, and these range in age from 1914 to 1936. So some of these would be considered antique. And I'm just going to go through quickly. There's over 50 pages here. So some you're going to get a couple folios, some you will get 5, just because depends on, you know, how large those books were. But so this first set here is these are from 1915. And then we move into 1916. And these are like different series of years of teaching lessons. So that was the 3rd year, the 4th year. This is the 5th year. And then we get into the manual for teachers. So this is actually from 1912. And this one is like teaching the teacher how to teach this program. And so you're actually going to get 5 folios of that one. And then you're going to get into, this one is some junior songs. This is from 1925. So again, this one would be technically, I guess, considered antique. But this one is great because this is like choral music. And so one of the things that I really love, and I've mentioned this in my videos before, I love the different styles of music and like the different ways that they are written. And so because this is choral music, it's just written different than like a piano music would be. And I think that that's very interesting. And, you know, the different shapes of notes has changed through time, and the size of notes changes depending on like the age that they're writing the music for. And so it's just a lot of fun to have a variety of those types of papers. And some of these are like this really smooth paper, and some of them are more coarse, but not coarse, but textured. And I really love like all the different patinas. But, you know, keep in mind, these are older books. And so then we're getting into some of the song series books here and the 1st year of music books as well. And so like this one is called the 1st year music. This one is actually from 1914. So just some really good variety. Again, we're getting into kind of choral music here versus, you know, teaching just basic music theory and those kinds of things. So there's a good variety. They add a lot of just fun visual in the background of a page, especially when you don't have any words like this. I love this page. It just would work. And I love the different sizes. Depending on the size of your journal, you could, you know, tear it in half and fold it, and it's okay if they're sideways because it's just music notes. So there's a lot that you can do, in my opinion, with music books or music pages, whether that's art journals or junk journals or memory keeping or whatever. It just adds a lot of visual interest to your journal, I think. And this one is called the Charts and Graphs paperback, and I love this one. This is one of my favorite ones. I've had packs like this before, and I've mentioned it before. I'm kind of a nerd, but I really, really love all of the charts and graphs. I think that they are very visually interesting, especially in art journals. Some of these in particular, because the pages are thinner, they're going to collage really well into like an art journal background, and it just gives you interest like automatically. You know, right out of the gate, you already have a really interesting background, and you're not trying to read anything because it's just numbers basically. So this first one here is actually from a German ephemeris. So this is actually like what they would use for astronomy to track like the locations of the stars and the planets and all those kinds of things. But this one is German, so you can see like the difference in some of the names of the months. And I love just the tall, skinny book, and it just being really small. So you're gonna get 10 pages of this one because it was just a lot of fun. And this one is Smalley's Tables. This is, I have had this in a paper pack before, but I just absolutely love it. And I love the different, you know, these are like mathematical equations, different things on here. And so I love the difference between some of the graphs. So you have like logarithms, and anyway, just very, very fun. So you're going to get 5 folios of that. So this pack is going to have over 60 pages in it. This next one is from a book. It was a college chemistry book from the 1950s. And you're going to get 10 pages of this one. But I really like this one because it's got like the equations and things in it. And I just think that some of that, to me, that reads as just like a really interesting texture. And then you have like the drawings and stuff as well, which is really fun. And this one is it's from 1963. It's called the CRSI Design Handbook. And it's actually talking, I think, about like concrete or something. Yeah, Concrete Reinforcing Steel Institute is what that stands for. But just look at the beautiful numbers and graphs and charts. And so I really just like that. And I like this one because the pages are actually white. And then we're getting into the Marx Handbook. This is Mechanical Engineer's Handbook from 1950 and a Chemical Engineer Handbook from 1950. And you're going to get 5 folios, but of each of these. And this one, the paper is really thin. So this would be one that would be great to collage, especially like something like this just gives a lot of interest, especially for mixed media work or for Bible, like just a background for art journaling, if you kind of like to do that. And again, just a lot of different pages that you can do. Like, just think they would be very interesting on there. So these are those books from the engineering handbooks. And again, and the pages in here are so thin that I don't know how well they would hold up to like being part of a signature unless you kind of back them with something, but they would definitely collage well. But the paper is pretty good quality, so I think you could actually put it into a journal if you wanted to as well. And then the very last one in here is the Thermodynamic Properties of Steam. This is from 1936. And I love this one because the pages actually, it's not just patina, it's actually like yellow. It's printed on yellow paper, which I love. And so you just, again, just pages and pages of numbers. So you're going to get a couple folios of that. And like, again, my reasoning for all this is I just love all of the different charts and graphs, the different sizes of these, and just the lists of numbers and all that. It just gives a lot of interest. And there's so many ways that you can use this, whether you're creating ephemera just for a quick background, or like I said, if you collage it for an art journal, or, you know, any kind of mixed media, anywhere where you're doing mixed media work. It would be great just to add some interest. I have my little notes here for what was all in there. And then I'm going to set this one off to the side, and I have 2 more to share. These again are already on the website. And so this next one is these are a little bit more thematic, I guess. So this one is actually from a series of cookbooks, and these range from like the 1960s into the 1980s. So bordering on vintage here, but just a lot of fun. So I do have a couple of recipe cards. These are vintage recipe cards. I included some of these, the S&H green stamps. So I have, you'll get a page that's like full like this, and then one that just has a few, and then just one that is blank, because I thought this was really fun with the little drawings on here. So, and then you're also going to get a couple of handwritten recipes. These are actually, were in one of the cookbooks. And so these will vary obviously in size and whatever, but you'll get a couple of those because I think handwritten recipes are super fun. And I'm not going to try to remember what all these, which ones these come from, other than there's about 48 pages of recipes in here. And some of them you can tell kind of like the 50s and 60s are these ones that have this kind of great, the drawings, the line drawings in them, and the coloring is great on them. This one is from a really old book that was about pickles and relishes. And so this paper, this is probably the most fragile paper of all of these, but I liked the patina and the size of that one. And then some of these were like from like church cookbooks that, you know, had the plastic binding and whatever. And so I tried to keep that intact because I actually think that that is very interesting as well. And so you're going to get several pages of each of those. And this one I loved because the font or the print on here, this is actually like brown. It's like a sepia color. And so you're going to get several pages of that. And this one had the little ad in here. This one is actually from the 80s because this coupon expires in 83. But there was one of the books is actually like a book about microwave cooking, so it was definitely an 80s thing. This one is the Farmer's Guide cookbook, which I really thought was fun. You can kind of see this one is aged as well, and so where that binding was, it did damage some of the spine, but you could certainly just cut that off, or I left it so you could kind of decide that for yourself. It's got a little bit of foxing here, but the paper is a little bit thicker, and was some markings and different things. This one is another one, probably the 50s and 60s here. Just liked all of the drawings and the pictures. The photography in here is great. You can kind of see those old labels on some of these things. It's just really fun. And then getting into some colored ones. I think this one is another one that was from like the 50s and 60s. In here, you're just going to get several pages of that one. And then several pages of this one as well. And this last one I just want to point out because it was so funny to me. This was actually from a book, what was it called? Kitchen Auditions. And it's a cookbook for bands and cheering squads. And so, like, you can see this one is swinging salads and salad dressings. And there's even like the little marching band hat. There's a little marching band guy here. And they're all like themed this way. So this one is called Marching Meets, and you have the musical stuff on here. I just thought that was so fun. Little marching band images throughout. So this is the cookbook set. So just lots of pages from different cookbooks. But I think this one would be really fun if you were creating a junk journal, or maybe a memory keeping some of your family traditions for your own like holiday meals and that kind of stuff. I just think that would be a really fun way to use some of those. The particular set, of course, you could use it in just any given, junk journal or whatever. But specifically for those items, that's kind of what I had in mind. Sometimes, documenting around the holidays and those kinds of things is just fun to have, like a little bit of a recipe. So this last book, or excuse me, this last set of vintage, this is actually Vintage Botanical, and that's the title of this paper pack. But there are over 40 pages here, and from some really beautiful books. And then I did include a few miscellaneous kind of ephemera things. So I do have a couple of vocabulary cards, and I tried to make sure that these actually had something to do kind of, botanical. I do have a playing card in here, also an artist card that will have some sort of floral image, and then a couple other playing cards that have this beautiful kind of scene on here. And then I also included a postcard that kind of has like, an image. This is from Mobile, Alabama on here, and I'm trying to, I don't know if it has a date on there. It doesn't, but so that will be in there. And then the rest are like from field guides and everything. And like I said, there's going to be 40 pages in here. But so some of these field guides, I just love the images that are in here. And then these are from like the Tailor's Guide to Annuals and to Roses. I think that you could use these pages. You could certainly use them just in a journal, but you could definitely cut out the images and use them as like focal images on ephemera, or, you know, to add to a pocket or a page. This one is the Tailor's Guide to Roses. And then these are from some pages that are from the 40s and 50s. This one is Getting to Know the Grasses. These were spiral bound books, and so they're just loose here. And then this one was like How to Know Spring Flowers. And then this one is from a book. This was 1933. And it was called the American Rose Annual. So you have some information about roses here. And then it also includes a page from this book that has an image on it. So there's color on one side and black and white on the other. And I kind of just thought this would be good because I think botanicals are good basically in any kind of journal. You could do a very specific botanical themed journal, or just, you know, using it, like I said, for bits and pieces of it for focal images on ephemera or pockets or whatever. So this page is actually from a book called Heaven in a Wildflower, and it wasn't a super thick book, but it did have, so I just included one page, but it's just got some beautiful, like a beautiful border, just some different beautiful quotes and different things. Here's Psalm 119:47 on here. It was just a really beautiful book. And then getting into some of my newer, new to me books. So I got the Country Diary book of Creating a Butterfly Garden. So you have this beautiful butterfly image. I love that the pages on this book are yellow as well. And then you have like a photograph image, but you also have drawings, and these are the ones that I love so much, and like the handwriting on here, just so good. And then this one is actually from the Country Diary Herbal. So again, you have just the drawings on here, which I love. And this one is from a floral birthday book. So you have information, like it's every day. There's a little quote or something, and then a drawing to go with it, which I love. And this paper is just like really nice and thick and great. So you could, again, you could save the quote, you could just save the image, you could you could put that in a journal just like it is. And then this last one, this is actually a book that I have been trying to get a hold of for a long time, which is The Country Diary of an Edwardian Lady. This is an Edith Holden book. And obviously this is a reprint. It's not the original, but even the reprint is vintage. So, but I love her drawings. I just absolutely love them. And her handwriting and everything, they're just beautiful. So really, really excited to have that book. And then I also included 3 folios from the Encyclopedia of Gardening in here. So you have just some fun information, and then some images as well. And this is really good paper as well. So these would be great for journaling pages, again, for focal images, for just kind of however you want to use them. That was really, if you wanted to do specifically a botanical themed journal, or if you're just, making some ephemera and want to include some, botanical images. So all of these paper packs are currently listed in my website. My Black Friday sale, sorry, my brain is just, it's been a long day. Anyway, my Black Friday sale is actually going to start on Wednesday, I think I mentioned, and it will run through Saturday at midnight, and hopefully give you time to do some shopping. I'll try to get these shipped out as quickly as possible. If you liked this video, I would really appreciate it if you gave it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. My link for my website, again, that's called chosenandcrafting.com, and my Facebook group and all of those things will be down in the description. And until next time, bye.